Shalom, shalom. I want to give my honor and glory to Yahweh Hashem El Shai, right? We're going to go over this lesson of the new moon, okay, right? So we need to go over the milk, right? The milk is the law, statute, commandments, the blessings, the curses, the fundamental knowledge, right? Knowing your nationality, right? Because as the scriptures say, Romans 15:4, loosely paraphrasing, the scriptures are written for our learning, right? You know, and the brothers in Korean, right? Paul, he couldn't talk to him, you know, on a deep level. You know, he had to talk to him carnal, okay? Right, even unto babes, right? Let's get that precepts, okay? You need to start out with the milk instead of just trying to jump into the meat, right? The deeper things, right? Let's go through the precepts. This is 1 Corinthians 3:1. And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritually, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Mashiach, right? Meaning the Lord said we can't speak to spiritually, right? And we have to start with the milk, right? And we have to build ourselves up. And we can't go on the highways and byways and start speaking parables and prophecy, and you have to build yourself up, right? And we have to be carnal and be on Jake's level in this thing, right? For they can understand. So we have to speak to Jake like they are babes, right? Until they get built up and they get stronger and stronger in the truth, right? Because these brethren in the Corinthians wasn't on a deep level, right? Verse 2, I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able. Verse 3, for ye are yet carnal, for whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, and ye not carnal, and walk as men, right? Meaning that is why they couldn't get too deep, because they were on a low level, right? And they were carnal. So the Lord couldn't get too deep with these brothers in Corinth, right? Because they were still carnal. And it is a lot of brothers of today having trouble getting deeper into the Bible, right? And getting mysteries and parables, because they still have to work out the fundamental in this truth, right? And you are not going to be able to grow in this truth if you still have envy in your heart or malice in your heart and having a grudge against your brethren. And the Lord isn't going to let you break all these things down, right? On a deeper level, because you still have to work these things out, and you have to get these hateful things out of your spirit, right? And then the Most High will start dealing with you, right? And build you up. But until then, he is going to keep you on a surface level, right? And that is all you will be able to break down is Deuteronomy 28:68, right? And not to be able to understand parables or get too deep into this thing. And the milk is the fundamental knowledge, and the meat is the deeper things. And to be babes, you have to give your babes milk, and chiefly breast milk. The milk come from your mother, which is the knowledge, right? So we got to start out with the milk, all right? We can't be trying to get deep into the deep things in the meat, right? So Paul had to get on him, you know, right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 12, and I want verse 11. Verse 11. The 2 Corinthians 12:11. I am become a fool in glorying ye have compelled to me, for I ought to have been commended of you, for in nothing am I behind the very chiefest apostle, though I be nothing. Meaning Paul was getting on him. Verse 12. Truly the signs of an apostle were wrought among you in all patience and signs and wonders and mighty deeds, right? Verse 13. For what is it wherein ye were inferior to other churches, except it be that I myself was not burdensome to you? Forgive me this wrong, right? Meaning the other churches was on levels that they were not on, and Paul had to speak to them like babes in the truth, and had to get on them, right? So Paul had to get on them, right? Just like Paul, he wrote the letter to Jerusalem, right? So they had to get taught. They had to get taught again. And there's nothing wrong with being taught again, right? Let's go to that precept. Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews, I want 5 and verse 11. I believe it's verse 12. Verse 12. This Hebrews 5 and 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principle of the oracles of Yahweh, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat, right? Meaning them brothers in Jerusalem that Paul wrote the letter to, and they wanted to get deep in the truth, right? But the Lord said you have to get taught again. Sometimes it's nothing wrong with that, getting taught again. And milk is the fundamental knowledge, the laws, the curses, the blessings, the commandments, knowing your nationality, and that's the milk, and that will help you grow up. And stronger meats are deeper things in the Bible, right? Let's go to verse 13. Verse 13, for everyone that used that milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Some brothers are unskillful and are babes in this truth, and that's not a bad thing, and that's something that you have to grow on as you learn the word, right? Because I'm a babe in the truth, right? Verse 14. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil, right? So in the truth and long jeopardy and pretty much overcoming certain things that you have been through, and now you can discern what is good meat and what is bad meat, and what is deep things and what is not deep things, right? And that's a man that have experience, and that what it means, who by reason of use have the senses exercised to discern both good and evil, right? Meaning he have been put through the test so many times, and we'll say that is deep and that is true. And you have these other brothers trying to get too deep and get tossed to and fro, right? And now these same brothers are saying them fringes are wicked, and you don't have to keep the Sabbath day anymore, and Yahushua don't exist. Right. So let's go to Hebrews 13 and 9. Okay. Let's go to Hebrews 13 and 9. Hebrews 13 and 9. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meat, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. Meaning it's not profitable to get outside what that is necessary, and it's not always profitable because it's not always speedily, and you don't want to spend a lot of time studying in dark sayings and parables and not focus on the laws and commandments and repentance, right? So we got to stay in the milk, all right? So don't stop getting the deep things, the meat, all right? The meat is the prophecies, okay? So, right, we need to, learn these laws, statutes, commandments, right? Okay, let's jump into the new moon, okay? Let's get into it, all right? Because the new moon, right, is what they call the dark moon, right? But the Most High never called it a dark moon, right? Let's go to Psalms. I want Psalms 81, and let's start with verse 3. Let's start with verse 1. Sing out loud unto Yahweh, and strength make a joyful noise unto the Yahweh of Jacob. Right? Verse 2. Take a psalms and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery, right? Verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Meaning you blow the trumpet on the new moon, the shofar, and they would do that in the ancient world, and you had watchers that would watch the phase of the moon, right? And blow the trumpets and declare to the priesthood, and they will let everyone know that it is the new moon and it is a solemn feast day, right? So you're looking at on the screen, you see that's a shofar, right? So you blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, y'all got to get y'all shofar, okay? Right? You can get it at Estes or Amazon. I mean, they got them out cheap, like from $20 up to $300, you know? Right. So it's a commandment. We got to have a shofar, right? Okay? I'm going to blow it. So we got to blow the shofar, right? You blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, okay? Right? Let me get it back. Sit it back up there. Okay, right. Verse 4. For this was a statute for Israel and a law of the Yahweh of Jacob, right? Verse 5. This he ordained it in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. The first new moon was kept and was given by Moses by we being in captivity, and also it is different months in the Hebrew, right? And the first month of the year is Abib, and your new year is the first new moon, right? And not December 31st to January the 1st. And it tells you that in Daniel 7 chapter 25th verse, right? Okay, let's go to Exodus, right? Let's find out when the new year start. Exodus 12, I'm gonna start with verse 1. Exodus 12:1, right? And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, verse 2, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you, right? Now this month is the month of Abib, and Abib in the Hebrew means green corn, and that is why your new year is in the springtime, and your corn will come up healthy and green, and that is the month of Abib, and there is no January and all the way to December, and you have the month of Abib, which is your first month, right? So the beginning of the year is coming up tomorrow, March the 28th, right? Right, that's the new year, okay? Right? So let's go to Numbers 10 and 10. Okay. Go to number 10 and 10. This number 10 and 10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow your ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifice of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God, right? Meaning you are allowed to eat the peace offering, and it is a feast, and blow your trumpet over it for a memorial before your God. So when you cooking, all right, when y'all cooking, y'all grilling, y'all steak burgers, okay, face the east and blow over your food, right? But wait till you get done on both sides, okay? Don't blow the trumpet while your food is uncooked, okay? Right, then you face the east and blow it, right? Or you in the kitchen cooking or whatever, you know, y'all got your plate, got your food on your plate, blow the trumpet over it, okay? Right? Verse 11, and it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year that the cloud was taken up from off the tabernacle of the testimony, right? So when the beginning of your months and in your solemn days, and that is when you blow the trumpet in the beginning of the month, and every new moon it is a solemn assembly, meaning you have to have a congregation with your brothers in a gathering in every new moon, and you can't stay by yourself, and you have to gather and have a holy convocation with your brother, and you have to blow the trumpet beginning of the month on the new moon, right? So it's a new moon every month. Once a month, the Most High let us celebrate the new moon, all right? So you brothers, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, y'all got to order y'all a trumpet, all right? A shofar, right? Because y'all don't need it, because once a month, we got to celebrate the new moon, right? And the new moon is a Sabbath, okay? Right, and let me prove that, okay? Let me go to Amos 8 and 5. Let me prove that. And plus, our forefathers, man, they couldn't wait for the new moon to be over with, okay? For they can go rob our people. This is Amos 8 and 5. Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balance by the sea, right? The Lord said our people was waiting on the new moon to be over with, for they can go scam our people and to get their money with false balance and lies. But it is basically telling you that the day of the new moon, you can't buy or sell, and that's a sin to death, right? So it's the thing, you know, it's a Sabbath, right? So the new moon is fall on a Sabbath, right? It's Friday night sundown, March the 28th, right? So it is a Sabbath. The new moon is a Sabbath, right? But the new moon you can't cook. So the new moon is falling on the Sabbath, on our regular Sabbath, right? Friday night sundown. You can cook, all right? But it's no buying and selling, all right? No buying and selling, but you can cook. Cook Friday night all through Saturday. You can cook on that Sabbath, all right? Okay. So, did David keep the new moon? Let's find out, okay? Like I say, the scriptures, Romans 15 and 4, all right? These scriptures are written for our learning. Let's go to 1 Samuel, all right? I want 1 Samuel 20 and verse 5, I believe. 20 verse 5. This is the 1 Samuel 25. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat, but let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at eve, right? Meaning he had to flee, and David knew it was the new moon and a gathering among his brethren, so he hid in the field, right, until the new moon came in at the evening, at sundown, right? And I should not fail to sit with the king at meat, meaning a feast, right? So David kept the new moon, right? And these heathens, okay, when they in the kingdom of heaven, being slaves, they gonna have to keep the new moon, okay? Right? Let's go prove that. Cause right now we only want keeping the new moon, right? You so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American, Seminole Indian. Let's go to Isaiah. I want 66. I think it's 22 or 23. 66. It's verse 23. Okay? This is Isaiah 66 and 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Lord. Meaning, in the kingdom of heaven, and every nation are going to keep the new moon, right? And right now, we are the only ones keeping the new moon, right? And in the kingdom of heaven, all flesh are going to come to Jerusalem and keep the new moon, right? And if they don't want to come to Jerusalem and keep the new moon, they are going to get put to death. And it tells you that in Isaiah, the 60th chapter, 12 verse, right? Loosely paraphrasing, right? Them other nations are going to get utterly destroyed. And no, they are not riding our chariots, right? They're going to be on their oxen, all right? Coming to Jerusalem, right? Okay? So, right. So, they're going to have to keep the commandments, right? And there's going to be sacrifices in the kingdom as well. Let's go to it. Let's go to Malachi. I want 1 in verse 11 or 12. I think it's 12. All right, it's verse 12. All right, that's Malachi 1 and... No, it's 1:11. Start with verse 11. Okay? It's Malachi 1 and 11. For from the rising of the sun even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, and in every place incense shall be offered it unto my name, and a pure offering for my name shall be great among the heathen, said the Lord of hosts, right? Meaning it is going to be sacrificed in the kingdom, and they are going to have to get down with the commandments of the Lord, right? And you can read about that in Zechariah the 14th chapter, right? Verse 12. But ye have profaned it, in that ye say the table of the Lord is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible, right? Meaning the Gentiles are going to have to serve us and keep all the high holy days, right? So, so the sun and the moon, it's not for us to be worshiping, okay? All right? It's supposed to tell us the days, all right? The years, the season, okay? But them heathens, they like worshiping, all right? Pull out their telescope out, their cameras, okay? Their binoculars, etc., right? Okay? But it's for us to, you know, tell us the days, the seasons, okay? And the years. Let's go to it. Genesis. This is Genesis 1:14. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Meaning the moon is not for worshiping, and it is for to tell you what day of the week it is. And if you are on point and you can actually look at the moon and know how many days until the new moon, and if it's a full moon and fully illuminated, and you would know how many days it is for the new moon to come in, right? And it will be about 15 days to come in, and it will actually line up like March the 15th. Like March the 15th, you count March the 15th all the way to 29th, you should get 15 days, right? Okay, so it take about 14 to 16 days to line up to the new moon. So you count 15 days from March the 15th to all the way to what? I think 29th or 28th or 29th, right? And you would have a new moon, okay, in your 14 days, right? And the Most High made the moon to serve in her seasons, right? Okay, right. Let's go to it. Let's go to Sirach 43. I'm gonna start verse 7. I'm gonna start with verse 6. Okay, the Sirach, this in the Apocrypha, Sirach 43:6. He made the moon also to serve in her season, for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. Verse 7, from the moon is, read again, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreased in her profession, right? Meaning you supposed to feast it up and cook a lot of food with 3 or 4 side dish and with wine, and blow the shofar and gather together with your brother on the feast day, right? Verse 8, the month is called it after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven, right? Like the Lord said, he made the moon serve in her season for a declaration of time, meaning we're supposed to look at the moon and understand time and know when it is coming in, and be able to count down and know when the new moon is coming in, those 14 to 16 days, right? Right? And we can't defraud ourselves from a good day, all right? So you brothers, on a new moon, y'all get that 3 or 4, y'all, you know, just don't get the turkey meat or steak, burgers, or whatever you're gonna cook in righteous. Make sure you got 3 or 4 dishes on the side, all right? Okay? Don't defraud yourself from a good day, all right? Let's go to that precept, okay? Sirach 14 and verse 14. Sirach 14:14. Defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. Right? Meaning, don't rob yourself of having a good day on the new moon, and rejoice and get your favorite wine and food in righteousness. And the Most High let us rejoice every month on the new moon, and feasting out with your favorite food and wine on these holy days, right? So we got to feast up, all right? So don't defraud yourself from a good day, right? Cook that food Friday night or all through Saturday. You know, drink your wine, okay? Right? Enjoy yourself, all right? The sun and the moon, right? All right? That's the handiwork. That's the handiwork of the Most High, right? Okay? Let's go to it. I want Psalms 19 and verse 2. Now I'm starting with verse 1. This is Psalm 19:1. The heavens declared the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament shewed it his handiwork. Meaning the handiwork is the creation of the Lord, and the firmament, the sun and moon and the stars, and that is the handiwork of the Lord, right? Verse 2. Day unto day uttered its speech, and night unto night shewed it knowledge, right? Meaning the sun and the moon, and every day it is teaching you, and the sun is teaching you what hour of the day it is, right? And the moon is teaching you what day of the week is, right? And the Lord is teaching you, I am red, and you know what that means. And you said, okay, I do understand, and I know what's coming, the destruction, and that means the blood moon, right? And the sun and the moon teach us the signs, days, and years, and season, and it is a just balance, right? The sun represents a man, the moon represents a woman, to teach us, right? Verse 3. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard, meaning everyone around the earth should be understanding the signs of heaven. Day unto day utter speech, and night unto night shew the knowledge. And we watch the moon and sun and know when things are going to happen, and say it is about to go down. But the other nation get dismayed and worship the moon and the sun, right? So yeah, they worship the moon and the sun, right? Because when you eating and drinking, okay, on the feast days, you getting married, right? Just think about the counts, you know what I mean? Think about the new moon, right? Because, you know, like in Joel, right? You know, Joel will tell you, the blood moon, all right, just let you know, our Lord is coming back. He's on his way back, right? Okay, let's go to it. Because we got to look at, we look at it as a sign, okay? But the other nation, they pull out their cameras and their telescope and worship it. They see that bloody red moon. Look at the moon, it's real bloody. They taking picture, putting it on Instagram or whatever, Facebook, etc. Right, but we look at it as a sign, and we think of the scripture like, okay, that's Joel 2 and 30 and 31, okay? The Lord is getting closer for the Lord coming back, right? We look at it as a sign, all right? But anyway, let's go to it. Joel 2 and 30. I'm gonna start with 28. Okay, this is Joel 2 and 28. And it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see vision, right? 29. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, right? Verse 30. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke, right? Meaning we have to be diligent and watch for the sign in the heavens, and the Lord is showing us the signs for our learning, right? That we have to watch for the day that he is coming back, and the other nation can understand that, and they see the moon and sun for a sign of love or some wicked thing, right? Verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of the Lord's coming, of the Lord come, right? Meaning, and every time we see the moon getting red, and it's getting closer and closer to the end, and prophecy are unfolding, and the Lord is showing you over and over that the Lord is on his way back, right? Job, he didn't worship the sun and the moon, all right? Okay, right, loosely paraphrasing, right? For I should have denied the God that is above, right? So he didn't do it, right? Let's go to it. Let's go to that count. Job 31. I want 27. Let's start with 26. That's Job 31:26. If I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, verse 27, and my heart had been secretly enticed it, or my mouth had kissed it my hand, 28. This also were an iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the Yahweh that is above, right? Kissing my hand, meaning look at that sunshine and let me offer up something like a ox to the sun. And that is what them other nations do. And that is idolatry. And that is for I should have denied the God that is above, right? So that's what the other nations do, okay? Right? Because you know, what them Egyptians back then, all right, they was making what? The sun they God, you know what I mean? Right. Ra, okay? Okay, all that folliness, okay? Right, let's go to it. Let's go to Wisdom Solomon. I want Wisdom Solomon 13 and verse 1, okay? This Wisdom Solomon 13:1. Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of Yahweh, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, right? Verse 2, but deemed it either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world, right? Meaning that's Egyptologists and what they deem fire and wind and birds and creatures and philosophy and all the stars, angels, the sun is a god, and that's a lot of folly going on, right? Verse 3, with whose beauty if they being delighted took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty had created them, right? Meaning the Lord isn't seen, and he is going to show you his works, but people are so foolish that they worship the sun, moon, and stars and making them to philosophies and doctrine, right? Verse 4, but if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them, right? Verse 5, for by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, it's like proportionable, the maker of them is seen, right? So you have to give even credit to the Father that made these things, right? Right. So this is a lesson about the new moon, okay? How to keep the new moon and not to worship the new, just not worship the moons, okay? The sun, all right? What the other nations do, right? So we look at the moons and, you know, and the sun for a sign, right? For days, seasons, years, right? Okay? So recap on that. You brothers, you know, y'all gotta get y'all shofar, all right? Because remember, it's a new moon every month, all right? Once a month is a new moon. And again, the new moon starts tomorrow night, all right? March the 28th, Friday at sundown, all the way up to Saturday night sundown is over. Remember, Friday night, our new moon fall on our regular Sabbath day. You know, our regular Sabbath day, we can't cook, we can't buy and sell, right? But it's the new moon gonna fall on that Sabbath tomorrow night, right? So you can cook on the Saturday, on the Sabbath, okay? But still, there's no buying and selling, all right? So you can cook on Friday night when that sun go down. It's the new moon, cook, okay? Cook Friday night, all through Saturday, however, okay? You can cook, but no buying and selling, all right? So enjoy y'all new moon, all right? Write these precepts down, all right? Go to dollar store, Dollar Tree, get y'all some pens, some paper, okay? Some folders, all right? Just a lesson about the new moon. You write these lessons, these precepts down, okay? What it means, all right? And you go over them, you study, all right? Right? You gotta get this milk. This is the milk, okay? Right? And go over them, all right? Before you want to jump into, you know, the meat, all right? The deeper things, okay? Right? But anyway, I enjoy y'all new moon, right? Tomorrow night at sundown, all right? All right, don't defraud yourself from a good day, all right? All right? Anyway, I want to give honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Shalom.